Hello, I'm Elizabeth Harrin from Ganthead's The Money Files blog, and I'm here today with Michael Sava, a finalist in short film festivals, and your film was recently premiered at Marbella Film Festival.
Yeah, that's correct. It premiered back in October, and it was a great festival to be able to. It's an international festival, so it's really great to be able to premiere a short film at such a big festival. And since we've been at 3 more in the States, and hopefully next year loads more to come, fingers crossed.
Okay, well that sounds like quite a massive project to take on, to do a film.
Yeah.
So what I'm really interested in finding out a bit more about that is how did you, for the life of the project, manage the finances around it? So did you start off with a
I definitely
budget?
started off with a budget. I started off with a budget of something like £1,200. And
So you started off with the budget. Does that mean it didn't quite end up that way?
It creeped up to about 1,500, which isn't that bad, but that's only taking into account the production of the film.
Right.
And I didn't really plan ahead as far as what the film would become and how big I'd want it to be or where I'd want to take it. That's probably where the planning lacked. So I definitely had that kind of in mind at the beginning and had the idea of about 200. And it was kind of on budget. I mean, the majority of the money went on equipment, and a lot of staff were able to come along on favours and helping out, and the crew were able to help out, and the actors were people that were doing it in exchange for showreel material.
Right.
So I pay for expenses only, but wouldn't pay for their time. But then in exchange, they use the film to add to their showreel. So a lot of it was definitely planned in mind to say, look, let's keep the budget down. So it was definitely, for the production, it came in on value.
Okay. So did you put aside some money for contingency?
Well, as I said, I put aside about £300 for contingency on the production itself. What I didn't account for was things like the festivals afterwards.
Right.
I didn't account for how much the festivals would charge.
In terms of attending?
In terms of submitting
submitting
the film, and just how many I'd want to submit to generally. When I started submitting to a few, I started to get a general idea about how it works and what to do. And what you get is a sense of... I emailed a lot of the old entrance into the Marbella Film Festival after I found out that I was going to be in. And I said to them, how many festivals do you submit to? What's Marbella like? To try and get a feedback from a lot of them. And the general consensus was we entered into about 100, 120 festivals, and we only got into about 20 or 40.
Wow. How much does it cost to enter a festival?
It can be anything from... Generally, some of them are free, but very rarely you find 1 or 2 that are free. But generally, you're talking about between £20 up to about 60, 70, £80.
Right.
And it depends on how soon you want to enter, how big the festival is. They decide on the cost. So you sometimes have to be selective about which festivals you're choosing.
Because that could be easily to go into 100 festivals, £60 a time, £600. That's half your production cost value.
Yeah. Well, I've definitely. In this case, I've spent so much on festivals, but the film kind of got its own place out on the internet and got its place in the world, and people are quite eager to know about it and stuff. So I'm trying to facilitate that as much as possible. But in the case of the whole project, I didn't take into account the festival cost.
Right.
But that's something I definitely will take into account next time.
Next time. Yeah. So were there any tips that you could pass on about how do you track things as you go along? So that did you suddenly get to a point and go, oh no, I've overspent, or were you monitoring it as you go?
I was definitely monitoring it as I was going. You have to be very cautious. I mean, as I said, equipment was probably the biggest part of the cost. About £700, £800 of the £1,200 I'd planned was for equipment. The rest was on expenses. We managed to get a space, the garage that we used for the film. We managed to get that for free. We used my house for the opening and ending shot. So, you try and do as much as you can on what's around you, and then who's around you and who's willing to help. And so many people are willing to help, which was really, really encouraging. But you do definitely have to track, and I really did not want to spend over £1,500 for the actual film. And I didn't, which to an extent I'm proud of. Again, got to take into the festivals, But,
but the bit that you knew that you were... at the beginning when you set out, you had a target in mind and you monitored along.
No, definitely for the production you have to
hit to that.
You definitely have to, because otherwise it can very easily, because what you have people around you saying you need this. Oh no, you need this type of light as well, and you're going to need this as well, and you have to go, well, hold up a back, this light's £400. I can't be paying £400 for a light It's crazy. Or another thing was music as well. I needed 2 bits of music in the film. And originally I wanted some pretty big tracks that were registered. I can't remember who it was. I think one was a Paul Simon song.
Right.
And in the end, they wanted like £900 for 4 seconds of a song.
Wow.
And it kind of hit me that I can't go ahead and spend £900 on 4 seconds of a song, but then not pay my actors. It just seemed wrong, and it kind of defeated what I wanted to do originally. Because originally it was all about getting people together who were inexperienced and trying to get together. Whether you're a sound man, a DOP, or a director, you're all people out there. So what I went and did was went to look for unsigned artists and listened to loads of music online, and went to loads of bars and listened to loads of music, and found some artists that were out there. And in a way it's worked out better for me, because one of the bands, Camp David, they've gone on to do loads of little stuff out there, and they're promoting us, we're promoting them, and it's worked out a lot better.
Well, the music on the film is really good, and it's very appropriate to what's going on. What's DOP?
Director of photography,
right,
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the music was really important, and it's something that worked out better than I had planned if I had gone ahead and paid £900 for 4 seconds of a song.
That's astronomical.
It's ridiculous. So, and it kind of, so it really turned out better. But it's something I didn't account for as far as that much money, and I couldn't justify spending that much money for 4 seconds of a song.
No. So what was your best bargain?
Best bargain? Well, the floor in the garage is a fake floor. So I spent a couple nights in a van going out and getting pallets, putting them together, and then getting some boards down and making a fake floor. That was probably a good bargain in that it was functional, it did what it needed to do for the sense of the film, and it was pretty much free. But so that was probably definitely. I mean, the actors as well, they were amazing, because they were able to just turn up, know the script, and in such hectic environment be able to just deliver. And at 4 a.m, and they've been tired and they've been working for 12 hours, they were definitely a bargain, definitely.
I'm sure they'll thank you for saying so.
Oh, they know it already.
Great. All right. Well, thank you very much. Where can people find out more about the film?
Well, the film website is stillwatersfilm.com, and you can go ahead, and there's trailers and clips and information about all the actors we used, all the music we used, and the people that worked on the film, the DOP, director of photography, or whoever else, anyone. So that's all on there. And the production company is called New ECW, and you can go to that site and you'll find out about what we've done and what else we're doing hopefully next year.
That's great.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks.